Jessica, I know Kiva is about lending to entrepreneurs, but you've also learned a lot about giving generously to those in need. What have you learned about giving, and what is it that you found motivates people to give sacrificially?
Yeah. Okay, so if sacrificial giving is different than, I guess, other giving because of the change that takes place in the giver, you know, what you want is for that, you want the giving to have intention and have thought behind it. That's sort of what we're about. We don't, as I said, we turn down money when it's humanless, when it's just about a company sort of dumping money into a bucket. That's not what we're about. So I think baked into Kiva is this idea of change and of at least the opportunity to have a new perspective and encounter new ideas and new individuals in the world through the gift. The gift is the loan is part of that change. So there's that, and there's also this idea in general. I told you I studied poetry undergrad, so one of my favorite professors would say, you know, great poets show, they don't tell. So I have not found it effective to tell people why they should give or to tell people this is why it's going to be great, you know, and it's a good concept. And I mean, we're designed to give sacrificially. That's really where a lot of joy can come from in life, I think. And so just show people, just give them the opportunity, and they will, again, they'll exceed expectations and they'll step up and they'll crave it and desire it because it's a good thing.
Well, everything seems to be going so well with Kiva. I mean, people talk about exponential growth. I mean, you guys are really, really living it. Do you have any fears for Kiva's future right now? Everything seems to be just flourishing.
I guess I believe there's some connection between fear and safety. And so as Kiva gets bigger and the stakes are higher and there are more people involved and there ostensibly is sort of more to lose with each new thing that we try out, a new step that we take, I would hope that we don't allow fear to cause us to stop taking bold chances and good risks. I hope fear never causes the organization to become less nimble and less dynamic as we grow, but instead to continue to be innovative, continue to try new things, and you know, pioneer. And yeah.
If you could say anything to young leaders today, what would you say to them? I mean, you were pretty young when you pursued this thing.
Yeah, I would say two things. Number one, I told you that our beta round was 7 entrepreneurs. They needed $3,000 total. We didn't apologize for that. And in fact, just taking the step of saying, look, we're doing this, we're going to start, was a really big deal in terms of the way people responded to us, the way the world responded. You can talk about wanting to do something, you can talk about having an idea, but once you begin, even if it's very small, everything changes and people respond to you differently. So I guess my 2 pieces of advice are, number one, don't be afraid to start small. And in fact, I think the very best way to create big change is to have the patience and the attention to really focus in on one particular person or one particular community and serve them as well as you can. And then, yeah, think about scalability, think about growing it from there. So don't be afraid to start small, and also just start.
Yeah, get going.
Just get going. You'll learn more in the first few days of trying it out and actually getting out there and experimenting and iterating than you will in, you know, the year prior to that, sort of working on a business plan. Again, which I'm a fan of, but I'm also a fan of action.
And what would you say to more experienced leaders who are trying to connect and are trying to figure out how in the world do we lead this next generation of folks that are coming into their organizations?
I would say, again, I'm a believer in this concept of kind of co-creation and collaboration, and informational diversity, different perspectives create the best outcomes. So I think a dream team could be leaders with more experience, working with leaders that don't have that same set of experience, and both sides sort of not prejudging or coming in with a lot of preconceived notions of even what the problems are, but certainly not what the solutions will be and how you'll get there. Because I think together sort of the best solutions can come up. So just to be open to each other.
All right, just a couple minutes left here. Jessica, any final words for the leaders that are listening in?
Of course. So I told you Kiva's mission is to connect people through lending to alleviate poverty. So what I think will really change the world is a change in mindset. So when we truly believe in the possibility of one another, I think all all of the rest is sort of logistics in terms of solving a lot of problems in the world. When you truly believe in the potential of a woman living in a hut in sub-Saharan Africa, when you really actually believe she can do valuable things and powerful things, you don't have to convince people, you don't have to beg people, you don't have to do any tricky marketing. If someone really believes that, they will take actions that will solve problems and that will make things better. So what I hope Kiva does, just like I started off in my childhood with these ideas about poverty, a lot of them tied to feeling guilty, feeling panicky, feeling ashamed of the wealth in my own life. Microfinance creates these relationships and this opportunity to connect in a way that's based on dignity and respect. So inasmuch as Kiva can create opportunities for people to encounter another human being and have those kind of connections, and we can sort of break out of this false dichotomy that a lot of the world tells us of, rich and poor, and strong and weak, and have not. Inasmuch as Kiva can blur those lines and break apart that dichotomy, I think that's a good thing, and that's healthy for the world. And as we change the way we believe in each other, everything else will work out. And one final example, Kiva launched in the US a few months ago, so now theoretically, the goat herder that you loaned to in Kenya last year can get online and lend to, my neighbor in San Francisco that wants to open a food stand. Like, that is healthy for the world, and that's what I hope can happen more and more.
Yeah.